Hello, gents. Okay.
Now I know where it's at. Yeah, finally, after all these years. Normally Terry brings it in and keeps it warm.
How you doing, Herb? Okay. Sarah's tag is on.
Yes.
I don't know. She's not on the board anymore, I guess. Lay it down.
She can't leave yet.
She did. I guess she can leave whenever she wants to.
Yeah.
Too bad she did.
Yeah. Disappointed myself.
Get your butt over a little.
What? Why? I mean, why would she come? No, I'm asking. Why would she come? I don't know.
Okay. Cheers, seen better days, huh? You have to go slow for me.
We can do that.
I gotta take notes, run this, run the timer. Maybe, okay. Take this one. Do you need this? No, did I forget my pen? The most important is this. They already know this.
Yeah.
You save that second.
Terry, hands up. Hips right. I showered before the meeting. Now I got extra room. Hey. I needed to. I had so much sawdust on me. I had to. I would have been irritable. Again. Oh. Meeting's over.
Yeah, it scared me. We lost internet today. Wasn't surprising. We lost power.
I guess Walmart and Fenton High School, they lost power over that end of town yesterday.
Oh, yeah. Well, we had no internet, but I think they cut a line down here at that subdivision they're putting in. Because there was flashing lights down there when they Or maybe they just interrupted service to connect it, to run the wire. I don't know. Might not have anything to do with that. Maybe somebody hit a pole. I don't know.
Maybe it was aliens.
Put a bad and back too.
Yeah.
Herm, I heard your Fenton football team, they won that game that we were talking about against your opponents that you didn't think you were gonna win.
So Adrian,
Was it Adrian?
yeah, we got beat by DeWitt, 70-26.
Yeah, I saw that your team was down a lot.
That's fine. And then
We had
then I'll say Mr. Chairman.
Tyrone Arnold,
Make a
he came to
statement.
the game, and he came at halftime and talked to it was good.
My son, team that he played on, won the Division I championship yesterday. Catholic Central. He played on it.
Like I'm on top of you, but my computer won't go any further.
Played the state championship twice while he was there in the both times.
DeWitt, I guess, is ranked number 7 in the nation.
On top of
Is
you.
that right?
All right. All right, before we get started, just like to remind everybody that the board is here to conduct township business, and asking the board members, the residents, the members in attendance to be respectful of each other. If I hear anything, I'm going to stop the discussion and ask you to please stop once. Continues, I'm going to ask you to leave. With that,
Mr. Chairman, I would like to share something with the board, if I would, if I please.
I'm sorry, I
Yes.
couldn't hear what you said.
I'd like to share something with the board before we start. That be okay?
yes,
Chairman?
please.
I wanted the board to know that I did reach out to Sherry Talley, I hope I'm not pronouncing your name wrong. On October 21st, I had made a comment to myself at the end of her public comment. No one in the meeting heard it. I don't believe any board members heard it, but my mic did pick it up, so it is televised. So it was a comment that I had made to myself, but I did apologize to Sherry. I did not want her to think that it had anything to do with her. It's just, I think, an age thing in me talking to myself. So I apologize to the board, and I commit to do better. Thank you.
All right, Jennifer, thank you. All right, I'm going to call the meeting to order, and we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Take roll call, Jennifer, please.
I will. Dean Haas.
Here.
Pam Moffler is absent. Chris Rapetta.
Here.
Herman Ferguson.
Here,
Sarah Dolman Jersey. Absent. Greg Carnes.
Here.
And Jennifer Eden, myself here.
Okay. Entertain a motion approval of the agenda or any changes?
Greg, I have one change, if I may.
Sure, please do.
At the last meeting, Dean had made a motion to add the discussion around how we're going to deal with unfinished business items as we move forward. I supported that motion, but we never voted on it. And so that's still an outstanding motion that needs to be voted on, to be added to the agenda or voted down.
Okay. You want to repeat that again? I mean,
Yeah, it was to discuss the purpose of unfinished business items. And part of that purpose was, I think there was a comment made by the clerk and supported by you and Jennifer, that if it's not dealt with within a day or within a meeting, then it drops off the list. And we would like discussion around that specific topic to keep things on the list for not only our own purposes of making sure we're dealing with them, but also for the public to know what's on the list. Sorry, it was a little long, but that's what.
No, that's fine. I'm,
So you want to discuss what, sorry, I'm taking notes to discuss what we're,
the
The
purpose
process
How
for
the
keeping
process,
stuff
okay.
on
Yeah.
unfinished business. Yeah.
all right, thank you.
Thank
And
you.
I think, if I understand right, the concern is that they drop off?
If we don't discuss them at the next meeting, they just drop
Oh,
off.
yeah.
And that doesn't mean they're still unfinished or not.
Right,
It
right,
just means
right.
there was a
They
rule that
disappeared,
been followed, they
yeah.
disappear. And when things disappear off our agenda, we know that they just stop getting worked on for the most part, so.
Okay.
So that motion and
We'll
support
add
still
that.
stands.
I want to add that as number 6
Oh, we
under.
just have to take a vote on it,
Oh,
Vote to add it.
to vote to add it, yeah.
okay,
We need to finish out the,
okay.
yeah.
So, all in favor?
Aye,
All opposed?
All right.
Motion carries.
We can add
thank
it.
you.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
We still need a motion to approve the agenda.
Yes, I still need a motion to approve the agenda with the change.
Motion to approve with change.
Support. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right, approval of the consent agenda, Township Board minute meetings for November 18th, 2025, and then the clerk's warrants and bills for November 25th, 2025.
Greg, just one comment from me. I see we have on the agenda to talk about a moratorium extension for the medical marijuana, but I don't see the notes from the meeting notes from the last public hearing where it was passed and moved forward to the board from the planning commission. Do we know if Mr. Wood just
Well-
didn't get them submitted in time, or is it a?
Here's what I know.
Okay,
The current draft is at the county
okay,
for review. They received it, actually, we sent it on November 24th,
okay.
and they have responded that they will have a determination December 17th.
Yeah, I think they
Which-
normally take up to 30 days usually, or
Well,
something like that, or.
They told us that we would get some kind of response on the 18th, but our moratorium expires on the 17th.
Okay,
So, when we get to that, under new business,
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
we'll
Okay.
extend the moratorium for
okay, I just.
30 days, 60 days, whatever.
Yeah, no
Whatever you
problem,
guys-
no problem. I just was curious as to maybe why the meeting notes from that public hearing didn't appear, so that's all. Okay, thanks.
All right? All right, and then,
We still need approval.
so approval of the consent agenda.
Motion to approve.
Support.
Got the
Supported.
Dean has it.
Give it,
Thanks, sir.
give it to Dean.
Your birthday's coming up, I thought I'd give it to you.
Passed.
Okay.
His birthday's passed. Mine's coming up, though. Anyway, all right. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion carries. Communications to receive and place on file. We have the Heartland Senior Activity Center, their 2025 annual report. And then we have the Livingston County Draft Master Plan, November 25th, 2025.
I'll move to receive and place on file the communications.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No one's opposed?
Greg, do you normally get a copy of that and distribute it to the board, or do we have to each go out and get it? It's not a problem either way, just wondering what there's a link in that county planning,
Yeah.
Department of Planning,
Yeah.
to go find it, but I wasn't sure if you already pulled it and are gonna distribute it or not.
I think it gets, my understanding is it gets sent to the clerk and she places it on file after we approve it. So, or
Okay.
after we approve to place on file.
But that's after they're, says approved. I
Right.
think if you want to see it, they have
Right.
to go on that link and.
Right, oh
Check it
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so we have to go hunt it down, all right,
right.
Okay.
thank you.
All right. So did I do a motion for communications?
Yes, you did.
Yep, we're all done with
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that. Sorry, it was a post
Okay.
motion and.
You got
vote.
me out of order.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
All right, public remarks, agenda items only. No one?
Scott Dietrich, White Lake Road. It's too bad, sir. I had to resign, but it's terrible that the shit show in this township has been going on for years, just keeps on going on. And it just doesn't seem to be one side anymore. It's both sides. And I'm always going to be fair and call out both sides. In the way the office is run here, 3 against 4. It ain't, you know, they complained about those 3 in the beginning going and doing something on the side, but it was when Mike was in office, it was the 3 making all the decisions, and then the board met and just rubber stamp everything. Just the same old thing. It's like we should only have 3 members because the other 4 don't have a say. So, no, I gotta say something about it. And it's just terrible the way this township's going. The division, the lies, the misinformation, it's terrible. I mean, I see it every day out there. But we gotta hold everybody accountable equally. And thanks for your apology, Jeanette, but just too bad we didn't get an apology for Chris for what he did and a resignation. On this closed session,
Hey.
on this closed session to consult,
Zip it.
on the closed session to consult the attorney, I got a problem with certain board members attending that meeting with the lawyer because one, his wife is a business partner of the Millarks. And if you go in there, Chris, it's just going to be a direct line to the Millarks. I'm sorry. So I don't think that's fair. If you're going to do that, then why keep the public out of it? And Dean, I don't know how far you'd go with that, but I would hope that whatever is discussed in that meeting doesn't get back. It's between the board and the attorney. But I know Chris will get it back. So and Greg, I know in the past you've done a little bit of that yourself. So, but I think we got to worry about, if we're going to be meeting with a lawyer, things got to be done right. And you do need to step aside, Chris. There is proof out there. Your wife admitted online that she's her partner. I got the picture.
Anybody else?
Before I start, how was that on the agenda? How was what he said on the agenda? Was it?
Resignation of,
And I never said a word. I turned around and I turned forward and you pointed at me and told me to zip it. I never said one thing, Greg. Good evening. I normally begin my comments by stating my name and what township I live in. Tonight I'm not going to. I want residents to understand why. I will not be stating my name because it is illegal for the board to require it. The Open Meetings Act does not allow you to make those conditions for someone to make a public comment. Anonymous speech is protected by the First Amendment. This item is about the Code of Conduct revisions The board has repeatedly commanded residents to state their names, and now you're proposing code of conduct that forces people to write down personal information and then be called by name. That is not legal, and it is absolutely an intimidation tactic. Several of these proposed rules raise major Open Meeting Act concerns, requiring residents to fill out cards before speaking, to be physically present before the meeting starts, and then forcing residents to publicly identify themselves. Those are not neutral time, place, manner rules. They are barriers designed to restrict participation. The OMA does not allow restrictions that prevent residents from speaking just because they arrived at 7:02, or because they prefer not to be individually identified, or because they hear you talk about something during the meeting and they decide they want to comment on it later. Calling residents by name is especially concerning. Many people have legitimate safety, privacy, or employment concerns. The First Amendment does not allow a township board to pressure residents to surrender anonymity in order to participate in their own government. That alone should stop this proposal in its tracks. The board needs to stop trying to restrict residents. Instead, it should be working hard to correct its own and repeated OMA violations happening right at this table, talking over residents, talking over fellow board members, rolling of eyes, and mocking of others, especially coming from our supervisor himself. Public comment is not a courtesy, it's not something the board gets to gatekeep, and it's a legally protected right. Any policy that chills speech, intimidates residents, or selectively controls who may speak is unlawful. I strongly urge this board to have new legal counsel thoroughly review these revisions before adopting anything that even comes close to violating state law or the First Amendment. Board members, despite the supervisor wielding his gavel as he proclaimed, "This is my meeting," please know this: it's not the supervisor's meeting, it's not even the board's meeting. The Open Meetings Act makes it clear that it is a meeting for the public, not just for the board. Your job is to conduct business transparency, and our job is to oversee you. Public comment is a legal right, not a favor, and you cannot create rules that discourage or intimidate residents from participating. And again, I ask Mr. Supervisor, how were the previous residents' comments anything to do with what was on the agenda? You selectively enforce things, and then you yell at residents who aren't even speaking. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Jody Kelly. In regards to the code of conduct, I wanted to address Dean and Chris to see if you would, when you have your discussion about it, about the amendments, if you could discuss the following changes. Under the public meeting decorum B, after unwelcomed physical contact, I think the next sentence should read, "Do not intentionally violate other attendees' personal space." Under D, I think that's about cell phones would be turned off. But I think that no texting by trustees during an open meeting should be added. The reasons are it's distracting, it interrupts, it's frustrating for the community to watch a trustee engage in texting and not participating in discussions, following along in the packet, or paying attention to the presentations, and then go ahead and vote on a topic. This is not decorum or what they were voted in to do. Under addressing the board and commission, it does say we have to complete a card with name and address, and I just want to say we're not required by Michigan law, MCL 15263, to give an address. And even if you're not reading our address, you're just calling our name, you still don't have the right to ask for our address. Also, at the end, number 5, after "will be asked to leave," I think you should add in "will be asked to leave by the township supervisor." The reason is that's his job, and he moderates the meetings, not the treasurer or the clerk, by whispering or telling him to do it, because that would not be their decision. And that's it. Thank you.
You. Anybody else? All right. We'll close the first public remarks and move into unfinished business. Number 1, best forum for determining board goals and the direction of the township.
Greg, unfortunately, I think this was one of Sarah's items that she wanted to address. I still think we need to address it. I'd like to ask if we can leave it on there for unfinished, and I'll prepare something for the next meeting. Unfortunately, her resignation kind of took us all by surprise, I think. So
Yeah.
if you'll give me an opportunity to put this back on the agenda for next meeting, I will have something available prior to the meeting to put out in the packet.
Great.
Okay.
Are you okay with that, Herb?
Does
Good.
any of the
So-
board members that are here have any ideas on board goals, or how you would like
If
to
you,
determine
if
that?
you have something, I mean, I have a thing or two I would,
Not to say we can't claim it back.
If you want to go ahead, Greg, or,
Yeah, we can still discuss
Yeah.
it, but I'd like to.
yeah.
I have some,
if
I have
you-
some comments too.
Yeah, if you start something, then we can add to it.
Yep.
But yeah, there's no reason to, just because Sarah was the person behind this, no reason that we can't move it forward. So yeah, Dean, you want to get something started and we'll all have stuff prepared to throw at it at the next meeting. Okay?
Okay.
All good?
Do you want me to make, I have comments I'd like to
Oh,
read.
you'd like to make that now?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
Just so that to add, in case they might inspire Dean or any of the
Yeah,
others
I'll take the
to
notes and,
also
yeah.
contribute, so.
And,
And then-
I guess, first of all, we already have a forum for discussing goals and direction of the board, and that's this meeting. This is our forum. There shouldn't be any question about the need for us to be discussing these things. The purpose is here, though, so that should be pretty easy. I think that that gets it also open to the public. It's our responsibility for the Open Meetings Act to make sure the public can hear our discussion around these important issues. I think that it's where transparency occurs the most, so that's good. And our goals should be set. It really is, we're starting to do that now, about making sure that we have an avenue to keep track of a list of unfinished business items. They don't fall off.
Yep.
That's one example of how we're doing it right now. And we are far behind in a lot of these things. We have a lot of built-up agenda items that haven't been addressed or haven't been allowed over the past year. And yeah, it'll take some time to clear that, but that's part of the process of catching up and whatnot. And I think keeping in line with that, making sure we don't have gatekeepers to the discussion points, and making sure, I think even recommending something along the lines of, if any trustee wants to add something or makes a recommendation in writing to you, as with the process is, that should be added to a list that we can keep of items that are potentially going to be added to the agenda, and maybe a note could be what agenda for what board meeting they could be placed on in the future, so we can keep track of requests from all the trustees of asking for agenda items and whatnot.
And because if you realize how much other stuff is going on, that the statutory duties of the clerk and the treasurer and myself, the day-to-day business, that we need your help to work on these extracurricular, I guess I would call them.
Right, well, board direction and goals aren't really extracurricular in that sense,
Well-
but I think there could be staff too, that we
Right.
also might have room who, to be able to help even review a board meeting video and be able to capture those kinds of things, or, I'm not saying we have to have a solution for that right now, I'm just
Right.
saying, a list of the desires of the elected officials would be very handy in our goals and direction setting. And,
Well, you'd
yeah,
be
it doesn't have to be
surprised,
long.
internet, how many calls I get on the internet, because we are monopolized by Spectrum. So, I mean, that, really is something I would like people who are savvy in that to look into. I mean, that's one of my things that I would like to add, but
I think Pam brought that up last week.
Yeah.
Or last
Yeah.
meeting.
Yeah.
That, did she guys email you guys and ask you for your agenda items?
I send my agenda items whenever I have them, and for the last year, they've been largely ignored, and I don't even get a response. So that's my point in trying to have this list of things that I'm
Yeah.
looking for to contribute to that
Right.
as part of our goals and direction for the township improvements. So,
And I didn't have access to my email. I didn't get the updated information until late Tuesday. So by Wednesday morning, I was unable to get anything added.
so that's my thoughts on that particular item. But if anybody else has thoughts, love to discuss them, or if you have comments about what I just said too.
well, I think at the next board meeting, we want to have our lists, and maybe we can, like Pam suggested, we can all agree on a priority item, one or two, and we get focused on it. Okay?
Sure.
So bring your
Sounds
list to the next meeting, and we'll do that. We want to move on to unfinished.
Email them prior. We can-
Pardon?
I said they could email them prior. too.
Yeah, they could do that too. Okay, unfinished business, number 2, the code of conduct policy revisions. And again, I'd just like to remind everybody, this is a draft. And the cards are for the residents, really, to better inform us, the board, of their concerns. And other government entities, cities, townships that do it, find that it aids them in being better able to respond.
We don't respond.
Did you hear what I just said? The cards help the board better respond.
So we're going to start responding to public comments?
I don't know.
My understanding is?
I don't know.
I'm asking,
I
I'm
don't think he's-
discussing.
Let's look at the code of conduct.
Are you referring to like questions?
The
again?
cards.
Questions, yes,
They-
yes.
There was
If they
comments about
signed
the
out-
cards.
Yes, but I think my interpretation of the cards is if they have a question, so they're gonna make a public comment, they put their name and we call them up or whatever. If they happen to have a question, I think we'll note it on the card and then we're able to, we know who to
Right,
reach out to,
right.
right?
Well, most of the comments aren't questions.
Maybe not.
Yes, Chris?
I I just demonstrated that the cheapest way possible and not having to print cards worked effectively. I raised my hand and you called on me.
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing today. So I would vote for that. But I have a bigger concern because this whole code of conduct resolution or draft resolution was a result of deliberation at the Lou Bender meeting in violation of the Open Meetings Act as to not deliberate to or toward decisions or policies outside of a public meeting. And there were 5 of you there. So I
We
have.
didn't approve anything.
It doesn't matter about approval. It's deliberating toward. Chuck, if you can clarify that.
No, we weren't doing any of that. We had a board in front of us, and we got to each share our ideas.
That's no different than emailing each other with ideas and coming up with a.
Yes, but a training isn't under that.
Deliberation toward decisions. Lou Bender sent out his notes. You distributed these notes.
Yeah.
They're here,
That's
public
right.
record.
Yep,
And
we shared them with you
they-
too, because you didn't want to attend. Yep, that's
I
correct.
had my mother in surgery. I'm not sure what you think,
I
that,
don't know. You both said that you openly in a meeting that you weren't going to.
because I had other plans.
That's fine.
Yeah. It's
Well,
not here to
let's-
argue about that.
Hey, hey,
Okay,
hey.
let me
We
finish.
didn't
Let me finish.
We didn't deliberate.
Let me finish. So deliberating toward included a very comprehensive list of added code of conduct for the board, which outlines a lot of these items that we're talking about in this resolution, which is a deliberation toward that by 5 board members outside of a public meeting, whether it was training or not. And additional code of conducts for the residents was the second area of deliberating toward, discussing, and the whole list of things here appears on, many of those things appear on the recommendation. So I'm really not sure, happy to hear what Chuck's thoughts are as far as deliberating toward these types of decisions, whether that's a violation of the Open Meetings Act or not.
I wasn't at any of those sessions. So everything I know about it is what I hear from you folks. And this is
Okay.
the first time I've heard a description of it. The Open Meetings Act is clear. You can't deliberate, you can't decide unless it's subject to the Open Meetings Act. I have no idea whether there were deliberations at these meetings. I don't know if there's an exception that applies. If Lou Bender put on this program, I'm going to guess he would have realized what would have been crossing the line. But I don't know.
Okay.
I just don't know.
I think before
How
we.
about I suggest this?
Sure.
How about you take this code of conduct in its current format, and you add or subtract what you would like, you too, Dean, and we'll come back to the board table on the 16th and add or subtract.
But you're saying that, Greg, right, as though something needs to be added or
I
subtracted.
don't know.
We all voted just a short while ago, within the last year, to update this whole code of conduct and made changes to this policy. And so I don't think we need, personally, I don't think we need another code of conduct, a revision at this time. I don't think we're a big enough community. We don't have 600 people here at the meetings. And I think we should approach that with some exploration, maybe from our legal counsel, into whether there are First Amendment violations that could be in place, or, what case studies or general counsel opinions from the Michigan Attorney General might be outstanding that could influence whether we should be doing this or not. So that's all I'm saying, is that, first of all, I don't like how this got onto here because it was deliberated outside of a public meeting, which is a separate issue. Secondly, I don't believe we need to have a code of conduct changes. On one side, you said that stuff is for the benefit of the residents, and then went on to say how the township would benefit from it. So it's one or the other, and if it's both, that's great, but I see it just as a bogging down and more collection of information when the simple process of raising your hand has been working effectively for anybody who attends these meetings, not just residents, but the public. I think it's been very effective, so.
Well, and I kind of agree with that, Chris, but the word good points brought up, and you brought them up yourself about cell phones. That, now whether that's part of code of conduct or whether it's just us doing the right thing. and
Sure.
just leaving our phones
Yeah.
put away. I don't know I'd like to think we can all be grown-ups and just put our phones away up here and not use them, and not have to keep modifying this code of conduct. But again, that's something that, obviously, when a resident brings it up, they're seeing it as an issue too.
Yeah.
So, just point of discussion, I guess.
Yeah, and I would be in favor of, in looking at, and I'll take some responsibility to send over some changes that I think could benefit the township and the residents with minimizing any potential violation of First Amendment rights and things of that nature. So I'm happy to do that.
So I think your idea was great, Greg. Let's go ahead and.
Yeah, I mean,
We'll all take it home, we'll mark it up and bring
And
it
it
back.
doesn't have to be this one, it can be the original one. Okay? I mean,
Greg, I have a
I'm
question for
kind of
Chuck.
along the same lines as Chris. I'm like, I didn't think the old one was that bad, but
And we don't have to change it. These are
Yeah.
just,
Greg, can I ask the attorney a question? Regarding is there a violation when we ask for the name? What a citizen said that they shouldn't give their name. Is there any violation to that?
The township cannot require a person who merely attends to identify themselves or provide their address. The Open Meetings Act does allow the township to establish reasonable rules, which would include when a person wants to address the board at the call of the public to identify themselves and provide an address. That is according to the Michigan Attorney General 1977-5183.
that's true.
So that's if they're going to address the board.
If they are going to address the board at the call of the public, you can ask for their identification and their address. If they're merely attending a meeting, can't do that. So yes, if they want to address the township board, they can be required to identify themselves.
But the key is asking, correct, Chuck? Not necessarily, I mean, if they refuse to give that information at that time, for whatever reasons, there's no demand. They can't demand that they have to sit down and not be heard because they're unwilling to give it, correct?
If the township establishes reasonable rules according to the Open Meetings Act, they can enforce, the board can enforce those rules. That would include not listening, telling them to sit down, or whatever. From a practical effect, you know what that means.
It means it gets messy.
Yes.
That's what it means. It gets really messy
Exactly.
real fast.
yeah.
Thank you, by the way, Chuck, for that answer.
You're welcome.
All right, we're going to leave this on the unfinished business docket, and we'll discuss it some more at the next meeting.
And you can add that I will submit some new corrections or
content,
some
yeah.
content that
Yeah.
we could also discuss at that
Yeah.
time.
That'd be fine. All right, unfinished business 3, the open burning ordinance amendments. Dean, I did get your email,
Okay.
but it was a little
Again, like I
late.
said, unfortunately, I never got the updated
Yeah.
login information until late Tuesday.
No problem.
From the IT guys.
Well,
So I was not able, but I did send it to you, and I do, and unfortunately, I'm gonna look at my phone because I had to bring it, my updates.
I have it right here
from the
for
phone.
you.
Do you? I got
printed
it here
it.
too, if you want to.
Okay, well, I'm gonna jot down
There's a
some
couple
notes.
things I'd like to discuss. 4.1, recreational fire means a small outdoor fire. I'd like the small removed out of there. I don't think we need that, because if it references the 7.1.7, that identifies what it has to be. And I had asked before that reference was put in at that point.
So you're suggesting we take small out and just say means and outdoor fire?
Outdoor fire intended for pleasure, yeah, and then the balance, whatever it says, but just the small portion taken out, small outdoor. And then again, she did put in
I
there
don't think
C
that's-
7.1.1.
I'm not sure I agree with that,
Yeah?
because a recreational fire could mean a huge bonfire.
No,
No,
it's,
no.
it's defined in
7.1.1.
7.1.
It says 3 feet, 10 by 10.
Okay,
It
so
did-
we're
it's-
leaving it by,
Yeah.
7.1.1.
It identifies what that fire must be.
This is some little print.
I know it.
And burning. I think that's supposed to be
I think it's
7.1.7.
7.1.7.
Yeah,
Oh my
7.1.7.
Yeah, that's not right.
Okay.
Something's not
Yeah,
lining up.
7.1.7.
Yeah, I kept looking at it like,
That's what I put in my notes.
okay. Yeah, it should be 7.
Yeah.
Okay. And then that defines the actual dimensions. Yeah.
Which brings me to that one, because I'd also like to see part of that changed. 3 feet or less in diameter. The average, I went to 4 different places. The average burn ring is 4 to 5 feet diameter. That's the average. There's some bigger that they sell at TSC or any type of farm store.
Yeah.
So what I would like to see is, I would like to see that changed to 6 foot diameter with sides not to exceed half the diameter. So if you have a 6 foot burn pit, your sides can't be taller than 3 foot. That would, I kind of drove around and measured some of the ones in my area. That was about the largest one I found was a 6 foot.
Not to exceed,
Half
or
the
they
diameter.
have to be,
No, not
has
to
be
exceed,
a-
because what we don't want is a 6 foot ring with 6 foot walls. Well, now it becomes an incinerator.
Oh, yeah, it's a burn.
So we
But a
want to
6
minimize
foot-
the sides.
But a 6-foot
It's not
fire
that big.
ring is not small.
It's not that big.
So first you want to take small out of the first part, and then you want
I
to remove
wanna-
the
I
small
still
and make a
define what it
6 foot.
is.
A 6-foot ring is not a small fire in my definitions.
Pretty small in my neck of the woods.
Well-
Me too.
I mean, just my comment.
I have a custom-made fire pit in my yard that's 6 foot diameter. If we don't change that, I'm illegal just to burn in my,
So we're
with
changing
a
it.
custom-made burn pit. There's 3 others in my neighborhood are the exact same ones. They're cast and actually have our name engraved in the edge of them. Greg knows what I'm
I
talking
know
about.
exactly what you're talking
And
about. I know where this comes from.
so I made
And
measurements of several ones.
I get it.
And again, 6 foot is probably the biggest I could find.
Yeah.
And if you put a 6 foot ring, it's comfortably, you can put about 5 chairs around it. 6 maybe.
I do agree 3 is too small. And I know you got a 6 footer that's pretty nice, but it has nice sides too. I mean, it's safe.
Yes, but what you have to think about is the people who don't have a ring and that are just having a bonfire. And that's the ones that get us into trouble.
Well, then that goes back to,
That's illegal. That's open burn.
if the fire
Yeah, but if they
department
say
is
that-
called and,
Bill can just say it's a recreational,
It's
sitting
open
around a
burn.
bonfire
It's gotta have something.
containing.
and not only that, it has to be under control.
Maybe we should ask the fire chiefs their opinion on the 6 foot. If they bless it, I don't mind.
Do we want to make a motion? I support it, Dean. Do you want to vote on it?
Well, let's go through the rest of them here. I mean, I got 2 more that are a little less impactful. 7.1.14 says Proctor residents shall refer to Tyrone Township, Heartland, blah, 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 their authority. Well, in 7.1.3, it already says that the owner assure burning can be done safely by checking with fire department service in their area. We don't need both. They're already been told they have to check with the fire department in their area before burning. I don't think we need to tell them that they have to call some particular. Again, when we talked to the fire chief, he said, and I'm guessing, I'm in town with Tyrone Township and I call Fenton and say, hey, is there a burn ban on in my area? They're gonna go, yeah, no, they're gonna know. So even if you call accidentally the wrong one, Fenton versus Heartland, they're gonna know whether there's a burn ban on or not. Now, like I said, it already identifies in 7.1.13 that you must check with fire department servicing their area.
And we don't want to drive them to Heartland anyway. If they're on North Heartland Road or North Denton Hill, then Fenton, you know, we have other fire authorities that are going to respond quicker. Unless it's only Heartland that, if that's the only fire authority, Heartland Deerfield, that we're
Yeah.
working with, then I can see listing, that's the only one, that's our only authority, but we have multiples that we
Yeah.
work with.
Well, I can tell you that if you call Fenton Township, they do not have
Or City of Fenton.
open burning, period.
Yeah.
City of Fenton, they do not have open burning,
I
period.
think he's more talking about if we were to call somebody, like, I know for a fact, and it just happened last year, we had to call the fire department at the apple tree. And Fenton Township, I believe, showed up. Now, it's Tyrone Township, you know, but it is so close to Fenton that they ran from Owen
Right.
Road down to Harlan Road and they assisted. So I think we do get a lot of support, and I think
Oh,
it's
yeah.
awesome from a lot of
Yeah.
different fire departments, depending on who's available and who's close.
So I guess I'm,
So again, like I said, 7.1.13 already says that it's the responsibility of the property owner to ensure burning can be done safely by checking with the fire department servicing their area. And all 14 says is the owner or resident shall refer to Tyrone Township website or contact Heartland Deerfield Fire Authority by telephone to determine if burning ban is in effect. It's basically the same thing. They must check with their local fire
Yeah.
to make sure that it is safe to burn.
so why not leave both of them there? Pound it home.
For this, well, I think if you're so specific, you're gonna get people calling Heartland Deerfield, and if they get rerouted, that wastes precious time to get somebody to respond to their fire or to, you know, the potential. I'm just, in this case, a little bit more general, like in 7.1.13, may be more prudent than specifying one when we have multiples that could respond.
I believe the police chief in Fenton that was here said that they don't always have it on their website because they don't allow burning.
You mean the fire chief?
Yes.
Right.
Sorry. So
Again,
that's why I think he said to reference Heartland, because they always have it because they allow.
Well, they always have it on their website.
Right,
Period.
right.
And they allow burning, open burning.
Right. So I think that's why he had referenced to have people contact them.
So then why didn't we have the Heartland Deerfield Fire Chief here instead of the Fenton Township Fire Chief?
They were
He
all
couldn't make
invited,
it.
but.
They were all
they couldn't.
invited. This is,
I'm just asking, because
Yeah.
that seems to be, if we're directing to an authority that we want to direct people toward, then, but inviting a different authority who doesn't support open burning anyway to come.
I invited all three.
Okay,
I invited all three, and believe me, I've talked to all
I
three.
mean, that's fine, it's just,
Yeah,
I felt
I just-
it was duplicate and confusing.
The city of
for people.
Fenton and Fenton Township do not want people calling them on that, for that kind of stuff. They
okay.
don't. They specifically were happy that we were directing, because they don't update that on their website.
Okay, well, that's a reason I hadn't heard. If they've
Yeah.
made a point
Yeah.
that they don't want to be called, that's a valid
Yes.
reason.
Not for that kind of stuff. I mean, you know, obviously, if you've got a fire out of control, yeah, call 911 and the nearest one will get there. But if I was to take any off, I would take by checking with fire department servicing your area. That's the one I would remove if you want to If it
Why don't we
feels,
just
if
combine-
it feels like redundancy to you, then
Then
that's the
let's,
one.
why don't
I
we do this, Greg? Let's take, by checking with fire department service in their area out and just move 7114 up into 13 and make it all one paragraph. So they're assuring burning can be done safely by contacting Tyrone Township website, township referred to
Okay.
the Heartland. You know, just move that up into that. And so it's, again, we're just trying to make it less for them so they don't miss it.
Because weather conditions, respond to the property owner to assure burning can be done safely, property owners and/or residents shall, yeah, I'm okay
Just
with
put it
it.
all into one
And
paragraph.
take out by checking with the fire department service in your area.
How's that?
Yeah,
You like that?
yeah,
Huh?
that works, yeah.
I know you work with the fire department a lot, that's why, so.
And then your last item, 7.1.
Nope, that was it.
No, 7.1.2,
Oh, yes.
3 acres,
The
1
3
acre.
acre limit.
Because I can't answer that, why 3
Yeah,
acres?
I mean-
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
again,
don't
and
know.
he really couldn't either when he was here. I
No.
mean, I would think a 1 acre would be sufficient. I mean, I kind of looked at what a half acre looked like, I looked at what a 1 acre lot looked like.
I think it has to do with a nuisance factor.
Well, it
because
has
homes
to
are
do
so
with,
close.
it has to do with nuisance more than
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah,
And if the fire department is called and determines you are a nuisance, you will be invoiced $1,587.
so, okay, let me look at what constitutes a
Whether
nuisance. What's a nuisance?
And-
Definition.
Well, wet leaves.
Because if that's the determining factor, then I think we need to know exactly what a nuisance is.
Nuisance means that no materials shall be burned that create a foul, offensive odor or cause smoke emissions that are offensive to occupants in the area or cause traffic issues and/or other hazardous emissions.
And to me, if a person is open burning, they're clearing or cleaning up, they got a 1 acre lot and they're clearing up some brush and some wood. And if it's within the legal time, they're clearing their leaves.
Yeah.
And 7.1.8 also gives parameters. Open burning under this section shall only be conducted at a location at least 100 feet
Yeah.
from the nearest building, which is not on the same property, and 50 feet from the nearest structure on the property, and provisions shall be made to prevent the fire from spreading up to within 50 feet of any structure, which 1 acre lot
You could do that.
with those parameters would easily
Yeah, you could fit-
fall within
Yep.
that guideline as well. Since it's very specific about
Yes.
how far you have to stay away. And those parameters would fit in a 1 acre lot.
I don't think I agree with the 1 acre. I think it may have been that years ago, and we had numerous complaints from neighbors side by side, mainly around the lakes. I have a couple neighbors that have burned leaves, and they're pretty close to me, and it is a nuisance. It's stinky, wet leaves.
Burning leaves are a nuisance, bottom line, that,
Right, but when you have acres that are one acre parcels, that's, no. I wouldn't mind doing away with it altogether because the law doesn't even allow you to burn leaves in the state of Michigan. We only can because of this ordinance. But the state of Michigan does not allow burning of leaves.
I understand that, but I know a whole lot of people burn leaves. And if we tell them they can't burn leaves no more, we're gonna have an outrage.
I agree. That's why I don't think the 3 acres is a bad deal. But I don't see allowing everybody with 1 acre. I don't know. I think it was a huge concern years ago. And I think that's when it was changed to 3 acres. because I believe that's what the residents asked for. Actually, I think some wanted it larger than 3 acres. And the board agreed with the 3, but my opinion.
You know, Greg, and that kind of brings me another little something I'd like to just kind of throw out there. You know, we have issues like this, and this is the kind of stuff we really need resident input in. We sit up here and we say, oh, the residents wanted this, or the residents wanted that. We had several people come in after, for instance, something gets voted down. We had some residents come in, so we went ahead and did it anyways. I think we need a better way, other than sending cards out, which costs a bunch of money, of getting resident input into things we want to do. I mean, it's their community, not ours. I mean, I don't like leaves, but, you know, that doesn't mean I should be able to say, hey, we're not doing leaves no more. It's just not the way it works. So, you know, and maybe it's just something as simple as a Facebook page.
Or
You know, and they can go on there and put their comments, and they, you know, we can have an item out there, hey, you know, this week we're gonna put it on Facebook that, this issue. Tell us what you think, guys. You know, I mean, I know most people out there that I'm seeing right now, I'm pretty sure use Facebook. It's a pretty simple, pretty straightforward, and it'd be a great way to get input into the community and from the community as to what we're doing and what we want to hear from them. And it may even cut down on our public comment, make our meeting shorter, because we'll already know what they're gonna say before they get here. So, just a suggestion, again, it's kind of off topic here, I'm sorry, but it's important, I think, that we get some input on that, and
Are you volunteering to manage that?
a Facebook page, there's nothing to manage in it.
I'm asking, are you?
We don't have office people that have a couple spare minutes a day? I'm pretty sure we do. I can just about guarantee it.
You want to be involved?
I'll be involved, absolutely.
Well,
I'll even find somebody to develop it for us.
So we're going to table this.
I think the other thing that I mentioned last time when we were talking about this, because I don't know of too many issues. I mean, it's good to have the master plan where we don't ever dust it off to look at it with regard to these issues, but this issue alone has such a huge impact on so many of our residents that in understanding it and being clear, I kind of agree with Dean that if there's a way we could have a workshop and get resident dialogue and comments that way, if a Facebook page or something else isn't possible, I think that would be a great way to engage the residents and collect data, have some dialogue, and see what people think. And as our resident population has become much more vocal in the last year, thank God for that, more participation, I think we might have a decent turnout, especially when it comes to burning stuff, which we all seem to like to do. Recreationally, of course.
Glad you clarified.
I'm glad you clarified.
So I guess I don't know where that leaves us with amendments to this.
Table it and we,
Well,
I guess.
it sounds like the only one there was any issues with was the size of the acreage, and, well, the other one was the size of the burn ring as well. I think those two had some potential, but we could always include what your recommendation is, Dean, if you wanted to make a motion or and whatnot on those as specified, and we could potentially vote on them, or we could table it until we can get further resident input. We have options.
Yeah. I don't think it's critical we make a decision today on this. I don't think too many people are really burning right now. And you know, as far as an open burn format goes. The recreation wise, I mean, yeah, I mean,
ask for keeps.
Yeah, I got that on the 6-foot ring.
I guess I'd like to get some input from some other people on the board, what they think about what an appropriate size would be.
Dean, I agree with you on this, go up from 3 feet to 6, because like you said, a lot of people have 5 people around it, I agree with that. And if we don't burn leaves, which I don't care to, what do they do with the leaves? Throw them in somebody else, where do they go? They gotta go somewhere. You know, I don't know if there's a lot of pickup, I know in the city, some cities, like in Flushing, they take them right out to the street and they suck them up.
Yeah.
You know, we don't have that here, where you can take and bring them out to the street, you know, and do it there. There are a lot of cities that do that, so they have an option of what to do with them. And as far as 1 acre, you know, we're 3, smoke doesn't stop, you know, right there.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking 1 acre. It's, whether it's 1 or 3, the smoke is still going to
If it's windy, the
make
smoke's gonna
somebody
move.
mad.
Yeah.
It's gonna make somebody mad.
If it's windy, after a
It
certain
doesn't matter
time,
how
they
If
much
it's
shouldn't be
windy,
burning.
really, they shouldn't be burning.
Yep.
Exactly. So,
I guess, I seem to,
I will check with the fire chiefs on the 6-foot ring. I don't know why they would have a problem with that. as long as
Again, I
it's-
think it's important
it's
though
an
that
appropriate-
we verify not to exceed half the diameter and the height, wall height.
Yeah,
So, you know,
we'll ask him.
not to exceed, again, it can, you know,
Ask him all about the
So.
wording on that.
This dumb thing keeps shutting off. Come on.
so we want to just table the whole thing, or do we want to try to vote on part of it, or do we?
I think we want to table it.
Okay.
I mean, there's only really 2 items, they're minor contentions. I can put the fixes in on the 4.1 and the 7.17. And then we'll talk to the fire chiefs about the 6-foot and the 3 acres versus 1 acre. And I can even ask if one of them can make it to the next meeting.
See if the Heartland Fire Chief, since he's got more authority, find out what his schedule is.
Yeah.
You know,
Adam,
say, here's
yeah,
what our meetings are, and can you make it to this one or this one?
Yeah, it's Adam.
Right?
And it's like Dean said, I don't, you know, I mean, it's been going on for a year now, so
Yeah.
what's another month?
Well, nobody's burning, like you said also.
Yeah,
Nobody's burning leaves,
no,
Yeah.
and that's what really this is about, the 1 versus 3, so. All right, so we'll just keep that on unfinished business, and,
hopefully next meeting we can finish that up.
unfinished business number 4, weed treatment around the fire well. I talked to the gentleman that takes care of our grounds here,
Steve Murphy.
Steve Murphy, and I said, Steve, what would it take, give me a budget number to weed, can't remember if I said 40 by 40 or 50 by 50 area max, gravel, go around, treat it with weeds. He said $50 to $75 a year. I said, so if I figured $100, if I budgeted $100 a year to do it, that would be good? He said, yeah, you could get just about anybody to do that, because he's pretty cheap.
Yeah.
He's pretty, his prices are, yeah, anyway. People have asked me to quote the land, the mowing here, and I tell them how much, and they're like, oh, thanks. No. So, said, are you sure you want to quote this? Okay, I'll just tell you what you gotta beat. Save you the hassle.
So Greg, I was kind of curious though, is this the weed treatment, is this just a piece of, because I think we were supposed to be trying to get together the whole second piece. So is this just an update on the one piece of the full maintenance cost, monthly cost, initial, you know, all that? Is that what this is part of? Because we had initially approved a budget for just the wells.
The wells, right?
So we're looking
Yeah, to put the
for,
wells in.
Yeah, just put them in. So
Right.
we're still looking for the
We
budget
don't know
numbers.
what, yeah, we don't know what
So is this just one piece
consumers,
of the second budget we're gonna be looking at?
we still don't know what consumers is gonna charge.
Right, but I think Phil had committed to giving us a list of these extra charges outside of the well itself to be able to help guide us to know that we'll expect charges from consumer to install or run a line for whatever phases are needed, charge estimates for.
We don't have that yet.
No, but I'm just saying, the list is nothing, doesn't cost us anything to demonstrate that we understand all the different pieces, including the weed treatments, anything else that needs to be, clearing the land. Obviously, if the snow plows go down in the wintertime, which we're at now, and there happens to be a fire, a mound of snow could be.
I believe he
needing
said
to be
he didn't
removed.
worry,
Snow removal.
he said he don't worry about snow.
No, I think we're just looking
Okay.
for the monthly fees,
Yeah, and-
the second piece of the budgets.
Right,
Yeah.
which
This
is the
just one piece.
consumers,
This is
which
one-
is the
For
consumers.
consumers in the month, yeah.
We don't have that yet.
It's
We don't have
it's
that.
all those pieces.
I
even
did
if there's
talk
three of
to
them.
consumers, and they are waiting for Berkmeyer to give them the
The draws.
what's gonna be required.
Okay.
So when Berkmeyer gets with consumers and they get that ironed out, then we'll have a budget.
Yeah.
But until that happens,
Okay.
I mean,
So it's just one piece of what we were looking for.
yeah, the big
That
thing,
first
yeah,
piece.
this
Yeah,
is just a
appreciate
little,
it. Yep.
little chunk
Yep.
that
Yep.
I could get.
Yeah, no, that's what I was wondering. I assumed that's what it was. Okay.
Unfinished business number 5. I was looking this over, Chuck, and does this have the possibility to cause any legal issues for us? I mean, I get it that the opinions and judgments of lawsuits is pretty much public information, but
Yes, they are. Anybody can go to any of the courts in Michigan. They can look up a specific case, and they can see all of the documents that are filed in that case, which would include opinions of the court, judgments of the court, things like that. So there's really no risk to the township in making part of communications the opinions of the court or the judgments of the court. As I said, they're public anyway, and this just provides a quicker means of finding them for this particular community.
But there is legal risk if you only isolate a trustee in particular to do all of that, especially during a recall election against him. It starts to see if the township may actually be, as a board, isolating that particular trustee for those actions could result in some legal actions. That's why I've been saying, out of fairness and trying to conserve costs against further legal action against the township by myself, is that we be fair and publish everything that's publicly available, as Chuck said, in order to not give the impression that you're trying to isolate one trustee and all of the things that you've published against me and nothing against any other legal documentation and communication since I've been around this township. It's the first ever, and so I would suggest that you have more legal risk of me suing if we don't include that, and trying to give the township an opportunity to step up and do the right thing by including everything and being fully transparent for all legal stuff. That's the purpose of my asking for everything. And I'm sure the township doesn't want to come across as though they support as a entity, as a government entity, the recall of Chris Rapetta. So.
all right, thank you, Chris.
You're welcome.
And in all fairness, let's be truthful. Almost all the lawsuits that come against the township are by a resident or somebody representing a resident. Because if it wasn't a Tyrone Township project, property, we wouldn't be talking about it. So it's not like Mr. Repett is the first person who's ever sued Tyrone Township. Correct?
Nope.
No, most of the lawsuits frankly are zoning issues.
But there are suits against the township brought by a resident.
All the time. Well, I
it
shouldn't say all the
costs us-
time.
and it costs us- again.
We have been faced with lawsuits in the past several, yes.
But again, residents costing the township money. That's the key connection that we're talking about. So we don't want to isolate one particular case, one particular resident for suing the township.
All right, any questions, sir?
No, I agree with them. If you're gonna put one, you might want to put all of them.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and I don't know why it was ever brought up and not discussed to the board before we did it. You know, that would be help if we had input on putting stuff on the agenda. Like, Dean, do we want to put this if we're all sitting here and we vote on that? That's what I'd like to do. As far as you're looking at what we're doing, I think all of us need to have input on everything that's on the agenda. Not just a few people, that we all need to have that because we all have one vote.
And it would give us more than 4 or 5 days to research and prepare ourselves.
Right. And if
You know,
we
we get these packets Thursday or Friday, if I can get it Thursday, if it's not Friday, and Tuesday's meeting. So, you know, I'd like to have more time to prepare, and if we knew what agenda items were could be, and had input onto them,
Right.
we'd be able to do that.
you know, like what you mentioned, Dean, with the fire stuff. You know, it was great stuff. You know, now we're already looking into this, and when it comes, it'll be quicker to decide. So,
I would expand also the resolution language a little bit, just to not just say lawsuits, but any legal actions, like civil infractions or, you know, things that
No, we
we
can't.
could, well, sure you
We're
can.
not putting,
You can put everything out there
Tickets.
that's a legal judgment that goes through the court systems, I think is absolutely appropriate.
what do you think on
know how
that?
many citations
That is
we give out?
judgments.
Pardon me?
Do you know how many tickets we give out on the road, the cops do? That's all citations.
I'm just saying,
No, he's talking about internal citations.
I'm talking about township-issued citations, not police-issued citations for speeding or something like that.
There's no difference in the risk assessment, whether it's a ticket, a circuit court lawsuit, or a district court lawsuit.
Okay.
So we could add that. Would that be classified as a civil judgment then?
Civil citations are civil in nature. The answer is yes.
Yeah, so, yeah, we'll just add civil.
Chuck, in your opinion, would that be a good idea to have that or not? I mean, we never had it before, and it happened one time. Is this something, or two, or how many? But it happened recently within the last year.
I certainly hope it doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
And I hope this
no,
is,
I
I hope
mean,
it's a non-issue.
Dean, what I'm saying is putting it on the agenda, you know, like
No,
all of
he's putting in a resolution. So when we do any judgment that is involving the township will be public notice. We'll put it in our public notice and say, any judgment, small, big, again, we hope that never happens again. I hope it's an absolute non-issue. I would love it if we didn't have anything ever put in here as far as suing, because we could face all the problems. But I don't think there's any downsides, because again, I'm hoping we don't issue any more civil citations from this board.
Yeah, and that's just to clarify the packet item that has the
This
resolution
resolution we're
drafted
voting on.
already for it, so, yeah.
so we gotta rewrite this.
Whoever
Fine tune?
makes the resolution has to.
Yeah, we gotta
Read.
rewrite it and vote on it next meeting.
No,
Yeah.
you can just do it now, and just add that in there if you so choose.
I
Accept the
think the
resolution
verbiage
with
needs to
changes?
be right.
Yes.
Yeah, except with changes.
So how exactly do you want that worded?
Chuck's opinion.
How should we word that, Chuck?
You know, I look at the language that we have here. It's now therefore be it resolved that Tyrone Township shall place the opinions and judgments of lawsuits regardless of the outcome under communications on Tyrone Township board meetings agendas. A ticket is, in a sense, a lawsuit. So I don't think you have to change the language.
It's covered.
Yeah.
And that was just recorded. We don't want to come back later and just get into an argument. Well, it's not a lawsuit, because that's what I feared, because specifying a little bit, like maybe adding just and other legal matters in that sense could be covering us, stuff that, like you said, would be publicly available anyway. If it's simple, and I'm thinking of the future, when people's grandchildren have to face the results of these resolutions as well.
Oh, it'll be changed way before.
If not, we won't care.
3
'cause we won't be
times.
here.
It'll be changed 3 times by then.
8 foot under.
Yeah.
Well, we have it on record, our legal counsel says it is covered already, so.
Yeah,
we're fine.
I think
Let's
we're
just-
fine.
I think
As
we'll
is.
just approve it as vote on it
Just make sure.
as written.
All right, so roll call vote?
Well, someone has to make a motion.
Motion?
As
Oh,
resolved.
that's right.
Yeah, for the resolution, is that different than?
Resolved.
Motion to
just
approve
to-
resolution
Resolution.
2512XX as written.
I got a second?
Support.
Well, who resolved it?
Dean
You?
did.
Okay.
Dean resolved,
All right,
And I
Herm
support it.
seconded,
okay.
No vote.
Now I'll do a
roll
roll call.
call. Yeah.
Greg Carnes,
Yes.
Sarah's absent. Herman,
Yes.
Dean,
Yes.
Pam's absent. Chris,
Yes.
and Jennifer, yes.
All right, resolution 2512XX
Carries.
carries. Item 6, the one we added. Discuss purpose of unfinished business. So I
Don't have 6.
Oh,
think,
That's what
that
you
was
asked.
under
Was added.
new business, I think, is where it should belong. The unfinished business item was under new business, because we hadn't talked about it before.
Yeah, I don't, say if it's not in my packet for,
No, it's the one.
I only have
You just
5.
asked.
It's the one we did for carried over from last meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Oh,
if it's carried over
That
from last
motion,
week, shouldn't it be
right.
under unfinished business? That's what he,
Well, no,
Yeah,
well, we never voted
we
on it.
voted, we moved and supported, but never
Forgot to
voted, so
vote.
it never got on the agenda.
So we
So
added it.
getting it on
That's
for the
right.
first time would show up under new business.
yeah,
but if it's under new business, we have no information,
no,
no paperwork.
That's right, because it was added at the beginning of this meeting.
yeah.
With
It's
a
fine.
bit
We're-
lengthy description on my part.
It's fine, we'll put it under new business.
Yeah.
It'll wind up going into unfinished business,
Sure.
I'm sure, so. All right, so let's move into new business. New business, item number 1, the resignation of trustee Sarah Dahlman Jersey.
Well, I personally think we should vote no on accepting it and make her come back.
I support it.
Yeah, I'm disappointed she resigned. I suppose I get it. I think it was being stressful on on her family.
Yeah.
But I'm also disappointed that she felt she had to go to the media and attack us. Attack her colleagues, you, me, all of us sitting here. On top of that, the township employees, I'm not quite sure.
Greg, I think that would be another discussion. We're just gonna talk about the resignation, aren't we? Not about
Yeah.
what she did. I
I
don't think that's fair, that she's not here to defend herself.
disappointed.
Well, you know what, you are.
I agree.
But I'm just saying, she's not here to defend
Yeah,
herself.
let's,
And I don't agree with that. And I'm not gonna stand for it, because we have a code of conduct, okay? And I don't think it's fair.
it's
Well,
So I think we
disappointing
should
she
just
left.
It's fine.
accept the resignation and move on.
Then let's have a,
Well, I'd like to talk a little bit more about how the process for replacing her before we accept or vote on this resignation. In the past, there's been people that have, because obviously we're going to have to post for this position. And I know in the past, on appointing people of the board, we've taken applications, and then we had, we interviewed during this meeting. We would have, the board would come up with a set of questions to ask them. We would bring them individually, ask each one the exact same questions, prior to even talking about making any type of recommendation or voting on it. And I guess what I want to know, is that going to be the process, or do I have to make a motion to make that the process at this point?
right now, we're talking about the resignation of Sarah. So I will entertain a motion to accept.
I move to accept trustee Sarah Dolman Jersey's resignation effective immediately.
Support, but before we vote, Dean, I agree with you. Are we going to discuss, it's not on the agenda, we have 45 days to fill that thing. And I think it should have been on there, how we're gonna go about doing it. And I agree with you.
She's not off
Okay,
the board
we'll
yet.
vote on this, and I'll bring it up
Okay,
yeah,
all right,
I'll bring it up.
okay, I
That's fine.
support it.
Motion and second,
that's,
all in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Moving on to new business number 2. The medical marijuana moratorium extension. I think I explained to the board earlier that the final draft document was sent to the county on the 24th of November. And they have responded that it will be reviewed December 17th. So we should have a recommendation from them by the 18th. So I would say early January we'll be able to vote on it. So if we move this moratorium out for, say, a couple months, maybe 3 months, just to be safe, because the minute you adopt it, the moratorium is dead.
Yeah.
So my recommendation is, let's,
I just got a couple questions. How long have you been working on this? How long did it take?
I don't think it matters.
Well,
That's how totally did it.
Well, it does to the people sitting out here listening. When was this sent down to the planning commission? Simple question. Year ago? Longer. 2 years?
probably longer.
Why? 2 years, and we have to extend it again because we're still not really ready. And the part that bothers me is I've seen over and over canceled planning commission meetings. And I guess the reason I'm bringing this up is this kind of goes towards why I believe everything needs to be put and stay in old business or unfinished business until it's finished. Because I think the residents deserve to know how long we're working on each one of these items and be able to ask questions, why? Why is it taking so long? And maybe there's a good answer, I don't know. But the question still has to be asked, why? Why 2 years? What, would- you know, I mean, at some point, somebody is gonna question this and challenge us on these. Well, wait a minute, a moratorium for 2 years? You guys said you were working on it, show me now. We're gonna be in trouble. When we show them where we've canceled meeting after meeting, and we're 2 years out, and we're extending it again, and again, that's why I think it's important to keep stuff on an agenda every single meeting until it's accomplished.
So what you're saying, Dean, is that should apply to all entities here,
Of
not
the
just the
township.
board, but the ZBA, the planning commission, all of them, right?
Yes.
That, keeping it in the forefront so people can be paying attention to it.
Chuck, do you have any input on that? I mean, it's been on there for quite a while, and to extend it again, and I don't know exactly what the hangup is, what is going on.
Well, I don't know the reasons behind that. It's clear. However, if there is a draft that the county is going to review, and then the township will have the ability to act on whatever the comments are, I think it's prudent to issue or extend the moratorium.
And I'm not arguing that. I'm just asking, you know, why we're here 2 years out extending moratoriums.
And I think during the solar, wind, and battery moratoriums and whatnot, Foster Swift indicated that the more moratoriums you put in place in serial, repeating them, the more legal exposure you have in an applicant wanting to potentially look at that as you're just going to continue your moratoriums forever and going to the court and bypassing us to get anything done and approved.
I
So,
recall she said that as long as you show you're working on it,
but how do we show we've worked on it consistently through this process with so many, that's Dean's point, to so many
Yeah.
cancellations of meetings and,
And we can't even prove we're working on it because it's not on any agenda.
We can't
We
prove we're
can't, but
working
the
on it
planning
because we're not
commission-
working on
The
it.
planning commission can't,
Right.
because it's not on the agenda. Show me where you worked on it. Well, we worked on it back here 6 months ago, and we're gonna look at it again next month. Well, that's 7 months in between. They may go, well, wait a minute, that's not working on it.
have you looked at their minutes? Month after month after month? I mean, I don't know. I'm guessing they
Hang on,
worked on it
I'm
every
looking at just
month.
how many
I've read in the
canceled meetings
minutes
they
that
had.
they're working on it, so.
There is no meeting minutes or minute to look at the canceled meetings.
No.
So I'm just saying, I think we need to make sure, you know, because we're getting into some important stuff. You know, the next new business item. You know, we're here to put a moratorium on that. Are we going to be 2 years down the road here and cancel meetings and
Can we stay
extended
focused on the
moratoriums?
new business number one? I mean, can I get a motion to extend the moratorium
You want for 60 or 90 days?
60 or 90 days? I don't,
well, I mean, the part of the discussion, as difficult as it is, it's important to make sure everybody has had a chance. I don't want to rush this through. We need to understand what our legal risk is by extending this. I'm not opposed to extending it. I'm not saying that I am opposed to extending it. I'm opposed to extending it without understanding our legal risk as to if an applicant sees this differently, then what happens? Can they apply and fight this? And maybe, Chuck, you're the best person that could potentially answer that.
There's no gatekeeper at the courthouses that when a lawsuit comes in, they review them and say, this one's no good, this one's good. It has to go through the process. So what are the risks? You won't know until probably a year to 2 years after the lawsuit is filed.
Okay.
Greg, with this here, I'd vote on this, but the stipulation is it's for the next meeting that we put it on. Maybe under old business, where are we with it? Like Dean made a point, where are we with it? You know, if you can get a letter from the planning commission to say, here's what we're doing, here's what's going on. Or bring the chairman of the planning commission here and we can talk to him. Would you agree?
Any moratorium. Yeah, any moratorium, yeah, exactly. That way we as a board know what they're doing, where they're at. Hey, it's been sent to this consultant and he's working on it.
that's what the ex officio does.
Well, then maybe we need to appoint an ex officio.
Yeah.
But can we vote on the moratorium?
Yes, I said, with the stipulation that we put this on the next agenda, that we talk about or have some proof what has happened. That it's not just sitting in a box somewhere, a folder, that somebody's actually, here's where we're at, because we don't know where we're at. Do you know where we're at, Nina? Greg, you
Other
would.
than-
The final
That's what they
draft
told me now.
document sent to the county, 11/24, county is to review 12/17.
We have two parts
That's
to that.
where we're at.
Well, we have another part to that that hasn't been mentioned, and that should have come up to us here as well. It was submitted by the Planning Commission during the public hearing. They've finished the work on the licensing regulatory component ordinance for that we are supposed to be handling. So that should have been placed on the agenda, probably for this meeting as at soonest. But because we as a board, that's our responsibility to review and approve that language in the regulatory before we would send that off to the county and hold our own public hearing. So we have that component of it. Now, the bigger one is the one the Planning Commission is working on. It's at the county, Greg, to your point, but we can't just ignore the fact that there's a secondary regulatory piece that we as a board have responsibility for as well. So we need to know where we're at on that too, and when that's going to be on the agenda for us to review and discuss and then move forward as well, that part of it.
So we will not even get the county's review is the day after our
I'm sorry?
next board meeting.
Right.
So
Could you speak up? I couldn't hear
I pretty
you.
much
Oh,
said
sorry.
that we won't see it until the 1st of December,
You mean January?
or I'm sorry, January. Because
So
we
the
don't,
county's reviewing it, their review will not process this until the 17th.
But they're
and
not
our board
reviewing the
members is-
regulatory because the regulatory has to be viewed and discussed by us, the owners of that regulatory, before that would go to the county. We would have to say, yes, it's ready to go to the county. The Planning Commission doesn't have the authority to send it to the county on behalf of the board who's never even seen it yet, who's seen that language yet. Correct me if I'm wrong,
Or
Chuck.
did they?
But
I don't know the
I don't
status,
know.
I haven't seen it, I
Right.
don't know if there's
That's-
regulatory
see,
portions or zoning portions.
You're in just the same place that we are.
Yeah.
That's the point, is that you're in the same place we are. But typically, the regulatory has to be discussed here at a board agenda. And then we would either move that to the county or open it up to public hearing and then move it to the county. I don't know the exact procedures, but I'm assuming someone would be able to help us with that.
I'll take a look at it and see if there's regulatory versus zoning stuff in it
Yeah.
and the status of it. I have never looked at it, I don't know.
Well,
so back to the moratorium.
What's the time period you're recommending, Greg, for the moratorium?
60 to 90 days.
It has to be a fixed number of days, not a range.
Well,
I would suggest that you do 90 days.
90
Okay.
days.
I'd like, as Herb said, 90 days with at least bi-meeting updates, if not every meeting updates. Is that possible?
I don't know why not. We can figure
I,
it out.
Well, it can't be part
I
of it.
wouldn't recommend that you have such a motion, because if you have something that, and if it's worded that way, and if for some reason the bi-monthly meeting discussion doesn't occur, does that mean the moratorium is invalid? It's possible we could have legal
That's fine. I
ramifications.
appreciate that input.
I would just,
90 days.
yes.
I need a 90-day moratorium.
Okay.
I move to resolve resolution number 2512, XX, medical marijuana moratorium extension
Support.
For 90 days.
for 90 days. Thank you.
Herm supported?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay,
All in
roll
favor?
call.
Oh,
Roll
that's
call.
roll call.
Yes.
Yeah, that's roll call.
Greg Carnes,
Yes.
Sarah's absent. Herman,
Yes.
Dean,
Yes.
Pam's absent. Chris,
Yes.
and myself, yes. Okay, resolution passes.
And since Sarah's not a trustee any longer, effective immediately, right?
Oh, yes.
Then we won't have to call her name for that roll call.
Thank you.
Not to be picky about it.
Yeah,
Right.
every second counts. All right, new business number 3, AI data center moratorium.
I have a comment, if I may. I think we should take the words artificial intelligence out of the moratorium and just use the words data center. Because every data center out there will have some components processing artificial intelligence or AI. It's not unique to a special kind, and that would also prevent, what if Facebook says, hey, I want to open up in Tyrone Township a storage-only data center for all of the posts we have to manage in Tyrone Township. Then, that could be a problem of us not being regulated by specifying AI. I think this should just be data centers in general. And I can comment on that further if you'd like, because it's an area of much knowledge in my mind.
I would ask Chuck's opinion.
Yeah, what do you think of that, Chuck, with just data center?
I would agree that you just have data center moratorium.
Okay, and that would be for 90 days, right?
No,
Oh,
this one is
no, this is a
for
long one.
This one, as long as we can.
6 months.
Make it.
That's
I would do that at 180 days, yeah, the 6
the 6
months
months.
to start with. But then that's the indicator that the planning commission is going to have to pick this up and start moving on it. That's our resolution for them to get going.
Yep.
I mean, and just know that data centers generate an enormous amount of heat, processing computers. I work for one of the largest computer companies in the world, that's why I know this, and I visited large data centers all over the world. I presented this a packet of information to Greg and Ross Nicholson in January to put this on the discussion. Of course, that was declined. Ross had indicated that he felt our ordinances were okay. But now it's getting close. I'm trying to be proactive in these kinds of things. It's not being reactive. Now we're in a reactive mode since people are starting to hear about it in the news and coming into Howell Township or other things. And I'm not opposed to data centers, by the way, just for the record. Data centers are important. We all use them. It's data centers, part of the big thing we call the cloud. A lot of people don't realize that. But the cloud is simply a marketing term that describes data centers that process information. Back in the old days, 30 years ago, we called them ISPs, or Internet Service Providers, would hold their systems in these data centers. So please know that there's computing power is huge, and they're mostly water and gel-cooled. To me, I start thinking the size of them because our consumption from an AI magnifies how much processing power and things that the data center needs to be kept means that you've got heat, you have to disperse cooling, so they're going to be tapping into the water systems.
Can they do a closed loop?
Well, there's a lot of things we'll discuss, but I'm just sort of giving a preamble to why it's important to have a moratorium today, but why it's also most important to get to work on it from the planning commission side
Well,
right
I think
away.
that's what we're trying to do here.
Yeah, and
So-
on top of that, Greg, the other thing that makes Tyrone Township very attractive is they also use a ton of power. And we have transmission lines that run right through us, which is really easy to pull a substation off of and to give them the type of power they would need. So it's a very attractive area for them, for that reason.
All right, so can I get a motion for a 180-day moratorium on,
I'll move for 180 days, removing the words artificial intelligence from the resolution and just a moratorium on data centers for 180 days.
Support.
6 months. It's a resolution,
so we got a vote?
Yeah.
resolved and second, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, Dean Haas,
Yes.
Pam's absent. Chris,
Yes.
Herman,
Yes.
I say yes. Greg,
Yes.
motion carries.
All right, new business number 4. sewer rates for 2026.
Well, increases really stink, don't they?
When, no pun,
No pun intended.
when, they haven't had a increase in, how many years? Three?
Three, I think.
Three? Oh, they've been holding their own.
Well, there's a chart that shows a 4-year trend of an increase of a total of $3 over
Yep.
those 4 years.
I mean, if
So
you look,
that's like really low.
if you look at that last page, you put this together, Jennifer?
Yep.
Just be aware that the system is over 20 years old, and I think from the break that we had on Hogan Road, you realize that we do have some maintenance issues that are pending.
What was, do we know if anything was accounted for in the sale of the REUs for ongoing maintenance in the future? Do we have money set aside budgeted for maintenance types of items like failure for a station like that happened on Hogan Road?
Well, the county, it's a great question, and here is how I understand. Early on, the township had to have some reserves because the county did not have enough money. The county now has enough money.
Okay, so we don't need to worry about maintenance then?
We
We have to have
should,
something.
we should
in
be
the-
concerned, but not as concerned as 20 years ago.
Should I be $1 million concerned or in a fund, or should I be $50,000 concerned? What does that translate to for the taxpayer here, so, in me and out there? That, I mean, we don't have to answer that right now, I'm just saying
Yeah.
that's
I will tell you
the
that
kind of.
repair over
Yeah.
there on Hogan Road was $130,000.
Okay,
So
and if the county picked up the tab, I'm okay with that, because they've got their
the
contingencies,
county took care of it.
which we
Yes.
fund. We fund their contingency plan
The
as well.
repair down in Heartland that happened just, I don't know, a month ago, 2 months ago. I don't know exactly how much that was, but I heard it was double this one.
Okay.
It was over 300.
So
Yeah,
is
it was
there a
over
way we can find out from is a recommendation maybe from the county is how much we should hold allocated to a particular line item in the budget?
I could do that on
Okay.
Thursday when I'm at the DPW meeting.
Great.
Yeah.
I could ask.
That just gives us to make sure that money is allocated if we absolutely need it. You know, we have 7.5 million in unallocated funds in the bank, so let's make sure we're covered in the right
Looks like
areas.
The emergency reserve fund for them is 1.5 million.
Sounds right.
Yeah,
I
it
know
says for
it's,
analysis, the county is projected to maintain a minimum balance of 1.5 million for the entire project period.
yeah.
In addition, the analysis does instead to pay use of funds for emergency reserve fund, so.
And
And
they
then they also
have,
have a capital improvement fund.
yep. And they
That's for
have
year-to-year fixes.
Yeah.
a
They do.
pretty extensive inventory of material on hand for emergencies.
Okay,
Like grinder pumps.
yeah.
It's no fun when they
Yeah.
go out. Mine went out twice,
Mine's
Twice?
since I've been where I'm at. And there's only 2 of us living there,
What do you guys do?
never tell.
We don't want to know.
They use rebuilt ones is the problem.
Oh.
They pull them and then they
they rebuild it, yeah.
rebuild it. and then they
Furbish them
reuse
as
it.
long as they can.
Yeah, because they're an expensive unit, yeah. They're great guys, though.
So is this just a communication then of the rate increase of some dollar or
No,
whatever?
we're
Or do we
approving.
we don't have to vote on anything?
Yeah, we do.
We
Do
have
we?
to,
Okay.
We have to
Approving.
approve,
So that
Okay.
last page,
yeah, we
It
have
shows
to
you
approve
what
the rate increase.
23, 24, 25 was, and it shows you what 26 is. I'm proposing an increase of 1.1%. interest, or increase, excuse me. And because we do have a little fund balance, I will share as soon as I can figure out which packet I have that in. I'm wearing too many hats today. So, as of the end of November, the O&M fund had $727,000 we've collected. This far, we paid out $598,759, but we still have to pay 4 more payments, 4 more invoices until we get to our end of our fiscal year. So we will still have a little bit in that pot, so that's why I'm, instead of the 2.75%, I think we can do away with that and do the 1.1.
And this only affects people who are
On
on
the sewer,
sewer,
yep.
not people who have their own septic systems,
That's
or
right.
they're
Yep.
not taxed.
680
Okay.
residents we have on the sewer.
And how many commercial?
A handful, 14, 13, not very many.
Not very many, yeah. All right,
I make a motion to approve.
Support.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Well,
I'm one of them.
me too. We both get it. That's okay.
So that way,
All right,
close this session.
Do we have to do, should we move that 6th item?
do you want to do, I'm going to ask the board, do you want to do the added agenda item first, or go into closed session and come back and do that? I don't, I
Doesn't
mean,
matter either way.
We can do the unfinished business first if you want, I don't mind.
Yeah.
let's do that then. So let's discuss, discuss the purpose of unfinished business. And, I
I
think we all kind of agree.
you understand where I'm coming from with that.
Yeah, I think we all,
Yeah.
you know,
So
yeah.
do we want to make a motion to add any agenda item that doesn't get finished, move to unfinished business until it is completed? Do we need a motion to do that, or do we just want, do you just want to go, okay, that's just the process now? I guess is my question, and I'm not sure which way we have to do
I
it.
don't,
I think we should research it. I mean, I don't know, I'm not opposed to it, but
Well, the
I don't
question
know
I
if it has
have
to be in
is if
writing.
you look at how many things, say we had 10 things on the agenda, now we have 10 things that are unfinished, and we have another 4-hour meeting.
Well, no, because on the unfinished term,
Yeah.
we don't necessarily have to, we can go,
Just-
yes, it's still unfinished, we're still working on
We
it.
don't have
This is what
anything
we're
to add.
doing. It'll be a 2-second, but it's
Right.
just to let the public know it's still there and we're working on it.
And if we have anything. then
If we
say,
can work on
okay.
it and get it out of them, we'll do
Yeah.
it, but, it's just so that they know.
Okay. Until it's closed.
Yeah.
I don't know that. Chuck, is it something we should vote on, or just collectively?
I don't think you have to vote on it. If you all just simply make that a practice, that's fine.
I think it's just a practice.
Yes.
Just to give us an update on whatever the,
So everybody knows what's out there, and we get an update on, like I said, the moratorium that we just passed for the data centers. What that should be, once we do, next, it'll be business, and then, or it's not business now, it'll go to new business or unfinished business. We'll get an update.
But how is that unfinished if we passed it?
Well, in this case, you're right.
Yeah.
The moratorium is
You're right.
finished.
Moratorium wouldn't be, you're right.
It wouldn't go, it's done, it's
Right.
completed, so it
Right,
doesn't
okay.
need to go back to unfinished.
See, that's why I think we're
Yeah.
getting confused on, I mean, we can try to practice it. if
Like weed
if
treatment, that's.
Or let's
we
say
can-
if
we
we,
can get rid of
during
that.
the meeting, we can say,
But,
we'll move this to unfinished for next
Right,
right,
meeting.
but
we
code
can
of
do that.
conduct should
Yeah.
still be on, because we still have discussion
Yeah.
for that one.
Yeah.
Right.
And the burn ordinance.
And the burn ordinance still should be
But
unfinished business,
Hopefully, the next
right?
meeting, those two, we can get rid of those. So, hopefully, we take more off than we put on every,
Well,
that
I
would
hope
be
so,
the goal.
but
That's the goal.
That's the goal.
And, you know, and maybe that goes back to the best forum for determining board goals. Maybe that's just one of them right there.
Yep.
We know what we gotta work on, and we hammer them until we get them.
All right, so move that we move to closed session to consult with the attorney regarding the pending litigation of Malark versus Tyrone Township, because an open meeting would have potential detrimental financial effect on the litigating or settlement position of the township.
Support?
This is a resolution, so resolved,
So resolved.
right?
Yes?
Terry? Yes, okay. Herman?
Yeah. I support it. Yes. He's read it.
I'll second it. 8:50 to go into closed
Resolved,
session.
second.
Resolved, okay, we have to roll call. Greg?
Yes.
Myself, I'll say yes. Herman?
Yes.
Dean?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
And Pam is absent.
Fighting me?
So I've gone over, yeah, I go over there. It's like 500, what you put over here. That's what I used, I got rid of mine finally, I bought it out, and I was like, why, I had the original, I bought a brand new, so I got a nice car, 1977. And I bought it in Myers. It was my first purchase for me, on the fleets by myself. And, I had to receive it home, I forgot, I paid it, I want to say it was like $96 for it, or whatever. And it was, the old original all-wood grain, it had red and everything else. Yeah, that's fine. And then I bought a slump barrel for it, it was cool, I sold it, I had a guy, I put it on the guy's, oh man, and that's an original, yeah, I said, so I bought it in 1977, so I bought it, I can't remember. He's like, your shit, you know, it's 118. So I ended up buying the gun, and I said, you're on the original, and then a few years later, I was taking off the slump barrel. I bought a slump barrel, but it was so I got rid of the steel board, and I bought the rifle barrel. And that rifle barrel, holy shit. I used to shoot those Renegade slugs. They're just not here. You can chunk the leather on there. And that gun, I had to shoot slugs. And then you did it here. Oh, yeah. There was two issues. There was no problem. I did it, so there wasn't a trail. They're lucky if they got 10, 15 yards. If not.
Excuse me, ma'am. Can I control that a little bit?
Literally, I shot over probably 25 years. I'm saying, we shot, like, people coming and everything else. I'm gonna estimate, we probably shot at least 35, 40 years. We probably shot. I mean, we went out there before 500, we limits 500. And some dogs, tons of dogs, but then they turn around and do the same thing, the guy home, we charge. But the other is, we spent years chasing guys on some trespass. And, the guy who owns it, he's a smart guy, he's got the whole time, such a thing. And, well, he ended up, right out there, right down there, that's the northeast corner, and we got hungry. So he wanted to get rid of these things right now. Genesee, Michigan, and it's Genesee County, but it's right in that shit. Finally, we got hooked up because there's consumers having this steam power generation. Well, the solar stuff, and Lonnie being a smart guy, he's tried to sell it for like 20 years. Somebody wanted to buy it, back house, couldn't get zoning. Blah, blah, blah. Finally, I got a spot. Right here's where, that power transmission place right now, so they ended up buying it off, and I know he got fortunate. They turned out to work with them, so I had to side of the road. I had a man, I had 200 acres. That line went to the other side of the road, and he had 200 acres. He told us he sold it. To my buddy, I didn't hear from him. I only had like 30 acres of wood down, and it was up another little section of woods and stuff, and then there's a section that you can't hunt. Deer for a run, big bucks would come out. There's a lot of deer out there, like the bucks would come out, big bucks would come out. Cross over, you can't hunt. They go over there, chasing those. I live in one of those spots. And they go find it, and let it start. I did for a while. The thing was, you were spend 5, 6 weeks. Either gonna be those or especially during the buck, pretty good chance to go buck. And I think in 10 years that I shot 5 bucks and the smallest one. The biggest one was 60. Because the first year, he asked me, that's kind of something before we did this. And you she said, he goes, well, you understand? I said, you mind if I understand? I'm like, no, there's a little water hole down there. Well, he hunted a couple times. I understand. I said, I said, well, are you leaving it out there? I'm like, you want it? I said, yeah. He said, this shit I bought it for $150. Why? He said, man, he said, I seen a pretty good buck. Any chance I could? You want to do this office week, today. I said, really nice building. That bridge, that's why I've seen you several times. He didn't tell me he had traded it. Well, this is after he shoots, deer. But he says, I said, if you want Joe, come up and help me. So I went over there, we're going to school, we were back. Park on the road, it's almost so we got back there, walked up, we stand up, we got done, it's like 2.5 hours from there. You're gonna hunt that? Try it. So about 20 minutes after dark, I phone. Yeah, I shot up just one legs, and I know I'm in a good shot for the last So you want me to look up flat? He said, well, yeah. And always, so I turned around, drove up there, knocked on the floor, drove out, got out there, and, holy shit, well, it was I think it's really So then he's like, hey, you know what, I gotta show you something. Then he went, that was the first fucking shot. He's shoot really quick. He goes, let me show you something. He shows this picture of this deer. It's like, I mean, just shit all over. And I figured, you think score? You're pretty good at it. It's about 185, 190. Well, deer I've seen one day. And I said, well, man, I'm sorry, I couldn't kill a lot of deer. I said, oh, this thing got hit by a car like 4 days ago. So, yeah, he was long. He was like, man. Yeah.
So you were in it?
Roughly based off of the last election, she's going to decide, she's looking at probably at a minimum $4,000 for that election. It's a special election. You don't hear them run around saying that, this year, hey, we're going to help cost you another $20,000 to $50,000. We're just going to turn around, throw shit out, and try to make a state.
was on, and he said he was gonna get back, but he never did. We're tied in the church. You're in the business. It's good. I'll just say, I thought I want to say, sure, it's good. Because now they're kids now. And they say, well, they don't use a discount. We're still providing the listen, go statewide with everything. I mean, I'm not on this. Now, your brother's Dave, right? Yeah. Somebody was asking, I said, I'm talking about, I know you're related. We're talking to you and I said, look, my mom's he's been in the house, he has seen
Our tax base is pretty good. I think he said, I don't know, because we're so one day we have to switch to it. After year five. Which told me a little bit of
and then the shelves, the other because I'd ask the teacher if there's some problem or something. Translation. Right. The different name, or your names are spelled differently, translated. Some of you're in, but just, yeah. This genealogy and stuff, I mean, I've never done, my wife used to do it. So, but it's just interesting. Have you ever watched that Roots show on PBS? And it's just interesting. The people, they're drawn, and they think they're a certain nationality. They are not.
Except when I come home, I go, honey, I so I don't. I don't know.
It just says that, and just so many questions out there. That's why you gotta try to you know, it's just it's all split. That's it. Basically, the government science is the one I know that people attack. I mean, sometimes it's proven wrong. I'll live by science before.
Yeah, they all get their own somehow.
then I was like,
Probably trying to figure out why.
you know, like, and she's like, oh, I'm gonna spend some time away. Never, and I never was like, video that I keep watching, so old guys, meeting and stuff.
That's a long meeting.
And he said, one of the things he said, start off with, this is what I feel like we need. Because he said, you are all what is the definition of trust? The definition of trust. And he said, you're supposed to be trust. And the only way you trust is you transparent. Went down the line, and someone said, well, it's a thing of the veterans who signed on. Oh, yeah. And he was like, well, yeah, who signed on? Yeah. And he didn't say that, because he can't do that. No. Said, no, signed one. Why do you sign it? So we're supposed to be, and they're doing it, and I don't know. No amount of money, no amount of pollution, no amount of easiness. This time too easy. No one tell you what to do. No, it doesn't, because you know such a kid. The other one should just go to the
It sounds easy.
That's the part I don't understand. Why do they want it to be? Is it because of water? I don't understand. Like there was the other side. Yeah, my rear is working right now. So he was one of the first things literally. And fixes working at now finding it reminding you watch it, if you have to do it, you watch it. So I did when I put a
Take responsibility. That's why I said.
That screen is. That's my second. This screen is.
Because we have to take pictures out. She just came down. She's here, I had to take it out.
Are you saying 10 seconds? After I stop now? They have it for them over there. Or else have a church tomorrow.
So I want to find out. Because I thought that might be another very bad page. Like, say to be.
It's not a retired client. What are you going to do when you're retired?
I have to see the movie, my kids have got a 0 cost solution. And I'm putting the prints.
I always thought about doing that. You don't have to get that.
Writers, yeah.
That's a big, I never been there, but my wife goes to yesterday I took her up. I got you hunting, fishing. You got a boat? What's up? Everybody's got their farms.
You know what, we gather something. Oh, Jesus. Once upon a time, I actually used to work in my health training, so I got 3 years playing toys for a living. I had to explain to mom and dad why we had to get tuition for that one, right?
My dad got trains.
Yeah, I have.
Yep.
Yes, I will, because I've seen it.
Shit in boxes.
And I know it's just, yeah, it's funny that you know, so,
Yep.
yeah, no. No, I know they don't, and I know, but they should actually, because everyone's paying, because.
And then I'm getting rid of some tools. And you got your dad's tools, my tools, father-in-law's.
I got a 2-car garage. I got my boat in there and all my lawnmowers. I just sold my ATV. And that was good. It was just,
You know what the accomplishment was on Saturday?
That seems to be the more.
oh yeah. I had a little kill you, I did that for many years after I was fit for left forward. So I'm back in law enforcement. I did that last year, all cleaned up somebody. I tell you, it's being 60-something years old, I can't be in shape.
What takes the stone?
Push that thing, especially, I'm at home, and when you got all those old things, I'm just burning the leaves. My sister was she lives on Howland, hardly lots of happy. And they are a lot of burning. I'll shoot you. I'm probably in They're listening, way listening.
It is very meaningful. Well, it's funny that you can't submit.
Just, once it starts rolling, it holds in. And it was just a 4-mile-an-hour wind. That's all it takes. That's why it's really deep.
It's just that, you got the piles and piles. I mean, happy here, lot 3 doors. You got this.
I've got an acre lot, I've got Is every turn the sucker is back to where the.
Well, Dad, you got it.
It is.
I got the perfect, I got a big lot, they call it, just swap money on the lake. And I just put all the rangers and stuff in there, and just throw it in there. And I even got copies. I take care of it, got coffee,
Like pumpkins, whatever might be in the back of the refrigerator that you lose, crack them, take that out to the back and I'll bring it down. Just do some special down. So that's where we get our pumpkins. And then at the end of the season, we put them in the back and then we're going I know, but it's like, it's actually kind of cool to one out there, it's like this damn baby shit. That's just great. I got good stuff on the camp here. The apple trees are out there. They're touching themselves. Debating does not what they did last year. Come over. If I put a bag of this out there, those are out there like this touching it. I got and the dough goes up there, the bomb, every year that comes in is a ground scrape of the ground. And they all have that brand. Tell you, saying that he's right. Yep. And he's out there fighting all over that stuff. It's just like, guys, that's stupid. Go up on a farm, just go to the deer. They're a grazing animal, they're a hunting animal. You're never going to stop that. Well,
Might want to go get Terry, huh?
Maybe Chuck is. You know what, this is the thing that's causing. Yeah.
is that camera still running?
Someone's always watching.
That was a nice wink you did.
I winked at you, but you missed it.
Yeah, we know.
Did you contact her? Were you able to contact her?
Yep, she. It's still cold in here. Yes, I think so.
Hey, Joe,
Yes,
can I give this to Sarah, or is it township property?
it's our parcel.
Okay, leave it?
Let's just take.
Just give it to her.
Yeah.
Hey, I didn't want to get, all right, we're back.
All right, let's go. Back in service. Bang your thing.
Okay.
Back in service. Back.
All right, gonna close the closed session and open the regular board meeting.
Do we have to take a roll or make a motion, Terry?
You should,
No.
Yes, yeah.
In session, right?
In session, you close the closed session, right?
Yeah, I closed the closed and opened the regular meeting.
Okay.
I think that's all I gotta do.
I don't know, it's getting too late at night.
Killing me. Anyway, where are we at? Oh,
Public comments?
the last public remarks or comments. Anyone? All right. Michael.
Hi, Mike Amberg, 11400 Foley Road. Just a couple of quick things. Regarding the burning.
The ordinance.
Ordinance, yeah,
Yeah.
thank you, it's getting a little late, that we're working on. Is it possible to include something regarding like the property line? Because the neighbor next to me had 10 acres, I've got an acre, I didn't burn, they burned. With the slow wind, my house got fogged over pretty well. It just is a matter of time before the smoke reached it, and then it just sat there. An extra 100 feet would certainly help if it was offset from the property line. They always burn like 10 feet to the property line. So,
How far is that from your home?
what was that?
How far from your home is that?
The 100 feet? Oh, they burned 100 feet from my home. It's just with the slow wind, it gradually, you can see it approaching, and then it just hangs. And just a suggestion, I mean, you know, I could have raised a fit, but I gotta live with neighbors for 364 other days, so, you know, I just kept the windows closed, and luckily they got it all done in a day. The other thing I was wondering was, we got TVs here and here. Even sitting in the front seats, the fonts are getting smaller every day. I don't know if they were, like that one's for the people attending or what the situation is, but if there's a way, we might be able to get a couple of screens closer to the people that are attending the meeting. It might kind of help understand everything being discussed. I know it's in the electronic packets and all that, but when we're going through like some of the reviews, like for the solar plans, that was presented, but everybody's kind of twisting and trying to see what it all is, because it's difficult really to get all that detail, even if you print it out. So that's it. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mike. Anybody else? Nobody else? Okay. No.
Hi, Gordon Tomaszewski. I'd like to start by thanking Sarah for finally acknowledging to the public what we, the so-called crazy residents, have been saying all along. I didn't know Sarah personally and can say we may have not agreed on some issues, but I didn't have an axe to grind with her. Sarah, you had the opportunity to invoke some of the changes the township needs and deserved. What Sarah has done is confirm what the 3 township officials in office believe, that they are ultimately the ultimate authority on all issues within the township. Our board consists of 7 members, and all the members have an equal voice in issues that we should both be voted on and placed on the agenda. The township has been run by a small group within the township office that believe they have a bully pulpit, and that the 4 remaining trustees must fall in line and vote according to their wishes. Not necessarily the wishes of the resident taxpayers. From the start, when the board took office, you all had an opportunity to put an end to the incompetent way this township has been operated. Several members attempted to bring forth accountability by addressing the abysmal attendance records of the Planning Commission. Instead of standing tall, the entrenched members of our board chose to maintain the status quo and place our township in jeopardy. As of this meeting, I ask you, Greg, Jennifer, Pam's not here, but what have you done to address the issue with the Planning Commission? I asked both this board and the Planning Commission board why we don't have an attendance policy in place, and this goes all the way back to last February. Here we are almost 1 year away, and we, the residents, haven't seen any mention of a policy to put attendance in check. Imagine if you spent the last year devoting time, energy, and the taxpayer money on creating an attendance policy instead of in participating in a recall effort against one township employee who is trying to accomplish putting a attendance policy in place. The township could have worked on the issues that the residents really want to resolve. You wonder why the residents are upset with the majority board members? It's finally been exposed by a trustee who is resigning for the very reason. Last thing I'd like to say is, under the code of conduct, whether it falls under the code of conduct or an attendance policy, I still would question why we have no type of policy in place for attendance. We have planning commission meetings canceled, we have people not attending, and the work's not getting done. Thank you.
Anyway, we have not adopted a policy that says we have to say our name. Do we have a policy on that? Is there a policy anywhere on that? Okay, I'm not saying my name. The Open Meetings Act does not allow you to make those conditions for someone to make a public comment. Anonymous speech is protected by the First Amendment. I want to address 3 issues that all point to the same core problem, a lack of accountability in how this township is being governed. First, the board conduct. I encourage residents to watch the last 2 board meetings online. You'll see repeated violations of the Code of Conduct and the Open Meetings Act by the board. Residents were mocked. The supervisor mocked residents and 2 board members. A trustee confronted me during my public comment until I had to ask not to be interrupted again. Public comment time belongs to the public, not the board. It's quite concerning how you're trying to regulate residents while refusing to regulate your own behavior, and the law states you are to behave, but you violate it every meeting. The problem here is not public participation, the problem is how this board conducts itself. Second, Trustee Dahlman-Jersey's resignation letter. In her resignation and recent 2 blog posts, she alleged retaliation, abusive use of township resources, unethical or illegal conduct, and decisions being made behind closed doors. She also described dysfunction and lack of transparency, issues many residents have raised for a year. Her descriptions resonated with many residents because they are true. Many of us have seen this and have been telling you this, but there's a problem. Sarah omitted her own role in causing that dysfunction. Regardless of any political goals she may have, her claims are extremely serious. Allegations of retaliation, misuse of resources, or decisions made outside public view are all potential violations of laws, and they are statements that Sarah made in her blogs. This board has an obligation to investigate them. You cannot ignore those claims. I will be submitting a formal written request for a full independent investigation into every claim that Sarah Dahlman-Jersey made. Third, the Planning Commission. Residents deserve answers about why this township has moratoriums with no progresses and ordinances that sit untouched for months. We all know that attendance is a huge part of the problem, but this board has neglected to implement any policies that would address that problem. Why? The MMA amendments highlight the issue. Planning Commission spent well over a year, close to 2 years. They even held a public hearing and they vote to recommend amendments to this board. Why did they wait 6 days to send it to the county from when the public hearing was? This could have been in and done on time. Thank you for not looking at me. Oh, you looked at me.
Anyone else?
Kelly. I've read Sarah's resignation, and I agree that after a year, your work has produced a complete lack of trust. As a community, we have complained for many months of your lack of transparency and not answering our questions. Examples: what law did Chris break? No answer. What is your formal complaint process? No answer. Why is nothing listed under unfinished business? No answer. Why are you not discussing helping the folks on Hogan Road and the kids at Tyrone Woods? No answer. It took a minute, but we realized that providing no answer was your answer. That means you have nothing to offer the township. Clearly, there's a lot going on behind the scenes, and there's a lot to unpack when you read Sarah's letter. It's alarming but not surprising to read the terms that Sarah used in her letter: refusals, dismissals, stonewalling, gaslighting, abuse of township resources, and not working legally. Well, those are pretty bold statements. And I feel the leaders of this board owe us an explanation on what this is all about at an open meeting to the taxpayers. It's confirmed that this township is not being run at the board table, but in the office, with secret meetings and whispered conversations. I'm not sure how much damage control you'll be able to do, but this may be your time to put your egos and your repetitive vendetta on the shelf and try to salvage what's left of your reputations. Maybe you could grow a conscience and put Hogan Road and Tyrone Woods on the agenda under unfinished business. For once, you need to think of something bigger than yourselves, like the children with the health issues from mold and the drinking water problems at Tyrone Woods. Or how about the kids on Hogan Road that can't sit outside with their parents because of health issues? It's hard to believe that you have zero compassion for these children, and it's really unimaginable.
Anybody else?
Scott Dietrich, White Lake Road. To get back to accountability, Chris, I love what you say, but you're not going to live by it. You haven't been accountable for any of your actions. I mean, you want to make rules, but you're not accountable. And I do agree with Jeanette, and I do agree with Gordon on the issues. And this is what we fought for in the last election over how this office was run and how board members came in here. And we didn't have any interaction. We have more interaction today than I've ever seen. And you guys were echoing the same complaints Sarah Dolman Jersey had. She wanted to have more committees. She wanted to have more back and forth, more to say on agenda items. So at least we're all agreeing on that. But Chris, I mean, you guys demanded apologies, like I said earlier. I mean, you could have moved on after you got removed from the planning commission. I mean, and I'm sorry, the judge did say you were wrong. Both lawsuits. We got to move forward. I mean, but you got to at least acknowledge you were wrong. You won't. And you're going to sit there and make rules for me to live by and everybody else in the township to live by. But I haven't seen you be accountable to anything. And I know you have that in your mind. I was upset when you came back in from this meeting, Chuck, and you went over there and looked over at the Millarks and winked. That's not appropriate. It's on the film. I asked Jennifer. He winked at him. That's not appropriate. Not appropriate at all. I don't know what was said back there, but this is what I was afraid of. But Dean, I mean, you've come a long ways in the last couple of meetings. I'll commend you on that. You've tried to put a little bit of a bridge in there. You're asking the right questions. So I'll give you a little attaboy for that as a resident. It's what I want to see, you know, because we do agree on a lot of this stuff. But if we don't stop the false stuff out there, the fake stuff, I cannot believe some of the questions people are saying out there, and they're getting it from one source. It's like, where's the battery storage unit going? I mean, you wouldn't believe these questions, and they're getting it from one Facebook source. They're getting confused, and you wonder why. I don't have to say, you already know. So if you want to ask, but you know what? This is what's all the confusion is in our township. It's all the false stuff. We got to work better at that. And I like your idea, but it's the cards ain't going to work. People out there, as I've been talking to them, they want real answers. They pay a lot of taxes. They want answers.
Anybody else? Does anybody have any miscellaneous business?
Yeah, I'd like to go back to my discussion I started back on for the resignation of Sarah on the process of the replacement and what the process is going to be, and if we're going to follow a process that allows not only the board members to meet the people who are asking to be on this board, but also the residents have an opportunity to see who they are, listen to their answers. So I guess what I'd like to say is I'd like to see us adopt a policy where we're going to take applications for the position, posted obviously, and then have a board meeting and allow each individual to answer a set of predetermined questions by this board. Each one will answer the same questions. And again, independently, the other ones will be left out of the room until it's done. And then only then will we discuss an appointment to this board. So can we do that as a board and agree on that, or do I need to make a motion to make this happen?
We're gonna
Follow
the law.
Chuck, can you speak to that?
We're gonna follow the law, correct?
You follow the law.
Yep, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna follow the law.
Yeah, what is that process that we're gonna go? There is a law,
Oh, yeah, that's a law.
and what is it? MSL,
blah,
What
blah,
does it
blah,
say?
blah.
Michigan law, how a resigned township trustee is replaced. MCL 201.3 defines vacancies in townships. Got it right here. We got to do it within 45 days. The board, not the supervisor, makes the appointment. The board appointment requires a majority vote. The appointment must be qualified elector of the township. So, in order for me to be able to, again, not the supervisor, but the board makes the appointment, I need to know who's applying and have them answer questions.
I
To
think
the board,
I think
not
that's
to the
a
supervisor.
process, if I'm not mistaken, for the three officials, we come in front of the board and are asked questions, because I remember going through that process. But a trustee, I
I
believe,
interviewed to this board several years ago to become a trustee, and I interviewed in front of the board, along with 3 other people. And it was at that time when Chuck Schultz was appointed.
yeah, I don't know.
So, I can tell you, it has been set as a precedent, it's been done that way, and I believe that's the way it should be done.
Guess
And I'll
we'll
make a
get the
motion if I
law.
need to.
We'll make,
Before we do that, I talked to Sue Osborne, who's been the mayor of Fenton for 40 years. They had an opening just a while ago. They had 47 applicants, 47. They had some people that weren't part of the town or the city, so they disqualified them. If there were people that owed back taxes and stuff, they disqualified them. They interviewed 27. What they did is they put it in the paper. They ran it for 10 days. And they set a date that this is it. You gotta have your thing in. And they interviewed 27 people.
But they didn't actually.
But not the board.
Yes, the whole council did. You can call and ask Sue.
That is
She
fast.
knows you and she talked about you, but that's what they did. The entire board interviewed them, 27 people. Then I talked to Fred, who's in Flushing Township, the supervisor. They did the same thing there. And same with Lou Bender. I talked to him about that too. So they put it in the paper. They had 10 days to get it, or a deadline, you have to have it in. Then they took and looked at everything, and the entire board interviewed all of the people. Not just 3 people, the entire board. And that's what I'd like to see happen here. Whoever puts in an application should be interviewed by the entire board, like Dean said, with a set of questions that one's called in. And if you're making a motion, Dean, I support it.
I'll make the motion, that way it's simple. I'm gonna make a motion that all interviewees get interviewed by this board. Set of questions will be determined by this board prior to that date, and that each one will have an opportunity to answer those questions in front of this board before we make any appointments or decisions.
Chuck, is that lawful, or should we look into that?
The board can make whatever process they want to get to the end being the vote of the board to fill the vacancy. Keep in mind, we have 45 days from today. So you're talking about generating a list of questions, publishing in the newspaper or something to get applicants, then scheduling a meeting where you can interview these people. We have a very limited amount of time to do that. If we do not satisfy the 45 days, the county picks the replacement.
We better get going.
Yep.
But I think
We've got a motion and a support.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
Carries.
Okay.
So I'm going to suggest for the questions, if we all wanted to, Greg, can we email you what questions we would like, and then as a board, we can pick a final 10?
What would you like on the application process?
You have to put it in the paper and put a deadline.
What
You
do
have to have it. We're gonna have to do it
Have to
quick.
post for the position.
Well, you're gonna have to have Pam write it up and put it in the paper, so when can it come in? Today is Tuesday, could she have it by the end of the week and put it in the paper?
Probably vote on Thursdays, Tri-County.
And then what we have is,
Put it on our board, our township page.
and then what is the date that we have to have all applicants in?
10 days sound like a
Yeah.
fair time.
I would make sure that you're looking at the dates of subsequent meetings to make sure that whatever you do
Our next
fits
meeting
within
is
the time frame.
16th.
Yep,
Because otherwise, and after the 16th, when do we meet again?
January.
January.
Are we not allowed to have special meetings?
we could call a special meeting.
It has to be approved. But you have,
We're the
I'm just
approvers.
telling you to be conscious of the time deadlines. Otherwise, we lose the ability to fill the vacancy.
Do I need to make a motion
January
that?
6th.
So
So we're fine.
I'll fix this really. I make a motion that if we can't get this done in time, and the meeting, subsequent meeting is not within the timeline, then we'll call a special meeting for the purpose of appointing a trustee to this board.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
Motion
That's simple.
carries.
What's the timeline here? Okay, so we have to, we'll have to
It's-
put it in the paper tomorrow, so it'll be in Sunday's paper. You want to run it for 10 days,
No.
and then.
No, not run it for
They
10
have
days.
10 days to reply.
Okay.
So we need a date.
So once it's run, 10 days later, that
So
ends.
you're going to interview at the 6th.
Yeah.
You don't think you can get it in the Thursday paper? Highly unlikely.
Why can't you?
Thursday paper? When,
I don't-
since when there is a Thursday paper? The
There's one-
Oh, it's a Wednesday.
Wednesday and
And
Sunday.
then Sunday, it'll come
Oh,
up
we're not
Sunday.
gonna-
It won't be in Wednesday's paper.
So-
That'll be
Sunday.
the 7th. is Sunday.
Sunday, the 7th.
It'll come out.
So you have till the 17th, the day after our meeting,
Mm-hmm.
to get their applications in. Then what?
And then we set up a special meeting before
We
Christmas.
need to have a
and then-
special meeting. If the next meeting doesn't fall within the 45 days, then we call a special meeting.
What I talked with Sue Osborne about, the questions they asked. Number one, why do you want to be on the board? Number two, what qualifications do you have? What may be some of the community activities you've done to, outside of that?
Can you get us a list of those?
Yeah,
What about the one from Flushing? Could you
Yeah.
give us a list of what
Yeah,
they,
Fred,
questions?
I'll just have them email them to me, the questions.
Email them to you, and then we can distribute them to the board, and we can
Yep.
look at them, and might be a simple solution.
I mean, we can look at basically is, why do you want to be on the board? That's the main reason. Why do you want to do it? What do you want to accomplish? And then, what are some of what experiences have you had? Have you had any experiences? And then some of the things were asking me, because I had to do that
When is the January?
when it was 6 years ago.
6th, I believe.
And it was between Zach and I, and they had the same questions.
Yeah.
So I think that would be the best way because it's like getting picked and selecting people. If 8 people, I think all 8 should be given a fair chance
Yes.
to at least come in front of the board and we talk to them and find out. And that's a better way where we get to know the residents.
Absolutely.
We can make it happen.
We can make it. That's what we're here for.
Yep.
Okay, are we all set?
Yep.
Motion to adjourn.
Support. I make a motion.
I'll support it.
All right.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Well, and we were up late last night because we were out for my birthday
Oh, yeah.
down in DC. Which was unbelievable. Absolutely. Holy cow.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Come on, that chair. Take me out with that chair.
Hey, Dave.
Where's the...
We're not gonna